And see, that's the
So
part people keep leaving out. It wasn't just he tried to say, "Oh, it was just a dude that was naked." No, he was that hallway he was walking down was yeah.
Yeah, it was wild. It was some wild
what
stuff.
it was the Rainbow Road
I
No,
don't
this is
know.
the
It
this is the
in the
pen that I got
hallway.
from Dr. Phil today. You know, I went and shot Dr. Phil again today. Angry man.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I
That's
flew
what's
out there. I flew out yesterday. I shot it this morning, but I didn't know that Ben Carson was there and Stephen A. Smith was there too. So
oh yeah.
yeah.
Did you give Stevie A that work?
No, they shot a different show because they shoot more than one show in a day. So
Okay.
they shot a different show than me. Um, so my show gonna be pretty controversial though. So it's gonna be pretty
What
dope.
what was the egregious shit that you said this on this one? Who is
I
making license plates this week on this version of
I told
what?
I told a guy that he was weak, that he was feminine. I told him he didn't have enough money to be able to talk to me.
Damn.
Um, this is Dr. Phil prime time, and then he kept talking, and he kept talking. I told him because he wound up having to close up his shop, or his I guess his little restaurant or his shop or whatever, his ice cream shop or something. I told him I was gonna go to his hometown and buy it. Um,
First. When
and
does
Man,
this air? When is this going to air?
I don't know. As soon as they find when we find out when it's gonna air, I'll let y'all know exactly when it's gonna air. So
Jesus.
yeah,
but yeah,
it's pretty
I
interesting.
think I got a theory now about all of these guys that are caping for Kamala.
Mm.
You know, the black guys that they love to put up there, like they're the spokesman for black men, like the Mark Lamont Hills, Roland Martin, Michael Eric Dyson. I'm starting to feel like all of them are suspect.
Michael Eric Dyson. I ain't heard that name in a long time.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
he fell off.
you
Mark Lamont Hill. He kind of dusty to me.
yeah.
He kind of dusty to me.
He
Like I
looked like
seen his shit.
he looked like a broke Floyd Mayweather.
I put Mark Lamont Hill as a content creator in the same bucket as Amanda Seals. I
Damn,
do.
Damn.
I
that
do.
ain't good.
I,
That
I
ain't
think that
good.
all of them is dusty as fuck, bro. Honestly, all of the people that they tried to promote to us on a national scale, but then they all wind up kind of creating their own content on their
Mhm.
own. Don Lemon, I put his ass in that same boat too. All of them motherfuckers is dusty to me, man. I ain't got no respect for none of them.
Yeah.
I don't think none of them is good.
Is there
Yeah,
anyone
Michael.
that is supporting Kamala
Huh?
that is any good? Anyone that is supporting Kamala that is not gay? And there's anyone?
That's good. The only person
Yes.
that the only that's not gay.
That's what hey, that's what Ham said, just going by his own words.
I don't see a lot of content creators on that side.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of content creators actually on the side of Kamala Harris. I see a
Yeah.
lot of regular folk, a lot of TikTokers that, what I'm saying, just let's like, somebody random as a TikToker that I've never seen before. But honestly, and maybe it's just my algorithm, I don't see a lot of people that actually supports Kamala Harris that are content creators. I don't
Yeah.
know of any. I can't name one right off the top of my head that has their own platform that is independent and they're a content creator.
Yeah,
Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith.
but you have the Destinies, the
Kinda
Sandpipers, like the traditional left media.
Yeah, but I mean,
he's
Destiny is he's sassy.
yeah, but Stephen
You
A.
said
Smith
that's
is
not sassy. He said that's not sassy.
but Stephen A. Smith, like Stephen A. Smith seems like he's on the fence. I feel like he's talking that talk because he know he got to talk that talk, but I feel like in the voting booth he gonna do something different.
No, I think Stephen A. Smith is a part of the he a part of the cool kids club. You know what I'm saying? He part of their little group. They all know each other. They all work together. They all connected with each other. I think he part of the group. The only two people that I can think of But all of these people are older. I don't know anybody that's under 40, under 50. I don't know anybody that's under 50. Let's put it like that. That is a content creator that supports Kamala Harris.
Mm.
I think they're not enthusiastic about it because it's not a cool thing to do. I think a lot of people that are voting in Trump are doing it because it's cool. The black person that is voting for Trump.
No, I don't see that. Cause listen,
Nah, man.
listen,
Who
bro.
want to be led
I,
by
I,
a woman? How many men want to be led by a woman?
I
that's it.
think people genuinely don't fuck with her. And I think that more people more closely identify with him and that he say what the fuck he want to say when he want to say it and he just real. People
Mm.
don't I don't think that people
Well,
want politicians no more. They want real people to take over these positions and run that shit.
yeah, but Trump is not real. Trump is the biggest liar of them all. How you can call real a guy that lies so much?
Okay,
He's
so well,
not a
okay, so
politician
if
though.
he's such a liar, then how come all of the very same people that is against him were the ones that was supporting him before he ran for president the first time?
Because it was cool. Because
Oprah's
it was
was his
cool to
biggest
support
friend.
Trump.
No, no, no,
Wasn't
no.
Trump supporting Kamala like 10 years ago, sending her checks and
Trump was
shit?
a businessman, so Trump, just like every other businessman, donate to both parties because it's in their
Mhm.
best interest. But what I'm
Yes.
saying is there is multiple different interviews, for example, of him being with and being on Oprah's platform. She literally wrote him a letter, and
Mhm.
she was even like, listen, you can be my vice president, and if I ever run for president, you're the one that's gonna be my vice president. All of these people that switched up on him, all of these people that's acting like they don't like him, they all supported him, and they was all best friends with
Yes.
him at one point.
Yeah, but he's one club, but that's the thing. Trump flip flops all the time, and he supported Kamala in one point,
That's
and
not
he
a
was
flip
more,
flop.
turned to the Democrats than he was to the Republicans.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's cool.
people would look at him like so, and
Yeah.
then he did a transition.
That's
So
not a
I
flip
think,
flop. If listen, if I'm looking at it from a business perspective,
hmm,
and I want to be able to influence what happens from a business perspective, of course I'm going to play both sides. If I'm looking at it as a person that is trying to, because I've even heard business people say it a lot of times, and they say, why would I ever run for president and give up my influence? Because either way, listen, a lobbyist is going to be a lobbyist, for example, for a company, regardless of who is in office and what party that they represent. Why? Because they still want their best interests to be represented in office, regardless of whether or not you're a Democrat or a Republican. So you
no,
can
that's
be a
fair.
conservative and you can be a Republican, but it's not going to stop me from trying to influence you to do the thing that's in the best interest of my company.
That's fair, and that's how you run business. You bet on both sides, like the Rockefellers and all these people that became the owners of the world. They usually fund wars. They send money to the both sides, and
Correct.
as soon as they see that one side is winning, they take the money out of the side that is losing, and they end the war and they get all the resources. That's usually
Correct.
how they actually amass power. But the thing is, we have to be honest. Trump is not real. He's a liar, and Kamala Harris is a
He's
corporate Democrat.
absolutely real
He's
because you
Yes.
can't you
No,
can't
it's
you
not. What
can't
happened? How is he not? He lies
be,
about
be
everything.
because
What did he
listen. Here's the thing. I have enough sample size of what he's done
Huh.
to make an informed decision of whether or not he actually is an executor of what it is that he said that he's going to do. And at the end of the day, I don't really even give a fuck about what you say. When it comes to these two candidates, I have a real sample size. Thank you. I have a real sample size of what they do. When he was in office in 2016 through 2020, what he did actually benefited from my perspective, as far as my opinion is concerned, and every single thing. I don't see one thing that he did when he was in office, as far as policy is concerned, that actually did not represent or was in the best interest of the American people. Not one thing. Now you
like
could get
cutting
you
off like cutting off trillions of dollars to people that or to billionaires and people on the like make it definitive as soon as he got into office.
you talking about the
How does
tax
that
cut?
yes, how does
Do
that
you know what the
benefits
tax cut
the
was? Do you know what the tax cut was? Do you know why he
what
did
he was?
that?
Because he wants more money for his pockets and his friends'
That's not what
pockets.
happened. Okay, so
What?
let me give you a little bit of insight.
Absolutely, yes.
It's not what happened. So this is what
Uh-huh.
happens because business taxes, it didn't affect companies either way. But here was the
Hmm.
difference, right? Let's say, for example, you had an Apple. Is a global business.
Huh.
But Apple neglected the reason why Apple even carried debt as much as cash rich as it is because Apple refused to bring profits back to America so that it couldn't get taxed on it. And what happens
Mm.
is it kept the majority of its money overseas. And this was happening for all of the Fortune 500 companies that are global institutions. So what he did was is he cut the tax rate in order for them to bring profits back to the United States of America at a lower rate instead of keeping it overseas and continuing to fund a lot of these companies or a lot of these institutions overseas. And so he incentivized them to bring all of their profits back to the United States of America. And that's why we was generating record revenue when it came to our tax base as far as corporate America. That's the reason why why the tax cuts was implemented in the first place.
No,
But
absolutely.
a lot of people don't understand it. They didn't look at the results. They didn't read the policy. They don't really understand what the real play was. And so they say, "Oh man, he just wanted to tax up." We not affected either way.
No,
If you're
yes, yes, you
generating a lot
are.
of revenue, you know how to do your accounting to where you're not going to suffer either way.
You
Plus,
are selling me. We are selling
you
me trickle down economics. That shit doesn't happen. They literally they get tax cuts and they reinvest in their own company and buy back
But
okay.
the
stocks
whole
again.
idea of
Here's,
reinvesting
here's
back
the,
into your own company is what then generates all of the jobs. Because
exactly.
you can't reinvest into your company without it starting to be more jobs that you need and more training. And then that's when everybody started to get into technology. That's when everybody started to take these boot camps, is because it was a shortage of workers to actually do the jobs that they were actually creating in the United States of America. So that's when they start lowering the bar of entry or the barrier of entry for people to be able to get these cybersecurity jobs, for people to become software engineers, for people to get in the cloud, for people to get into artificial intelligence. It was an influx of money that was being invested, and it was a lot of new factories that was coming to the United States of America as a result of companies reinvesting into it. Trickle down economics absolutely works, and that's why you had a
Mm-mm.
1.2% inflation rate when he handed the keys over to the Biden Harris administration. It's a real
If
But
thing.
But look, here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is one of these arguments that people always raise, but they talk about corporations as if corporations exist in a bubble outside of the economy. They're part of the economy. If you tax corporations higher at a higher rate, that's when you're going to get products. The prices of products are going to go up. This is when you're going to see companies trying to run to other countries to get cheaper labor. This is when you're going to see people losing jobs and downsizing. So whenever he's giving these tax cuts to these corporations, that's actually benefiting America the same way Anton just broke down.
We don't
the
need
Hey,
job,
higher
the
taxes in the
jobs are
United.
not coming back. The
We
jobs
so
are
don't
I
not
got,
need
I
coming
got.
back.
no jobs are not coming back. They've been laying
No,
off
are not coming back. There's
ridiculously.
nothing you can do. No, no, but that's the
Wait,
point.
wait,
There's
wait.
nothing you can do. And those
I got,
tax cuts aren't. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I got a question for you, Fatty. Why do you care?
Why would I not care? This is the most powerful
Why?
country
No,
of
no,
the
no, no, no,
world.
no, no, no,
That-
no,
no,
no, no,
like,
no, no,
you
no.
asked me
Don't
a
deflect.
question, right? Didn't you ask
Don't
me a
deflect.
question? You asked me a question, so let me answer.
Yeah,
I'm
go
not
ahead.
deflecting. Why wouldn't I care? The United States are the trendsetter of the world and the West. We are dependent of what the United States actually start doing because we have so many connections. We have NATO. We have a bunch of things that are going to trickle and going to affect where I live. So if the United States decide to leave the Paris Agreement, if the United States decides to start a war with somebody, if the United States decide that they're going to embark something with Russia or China, I'm going to feel it. My pocket is going to feel it because you live in the global village. So yes, sir, I do care. Affects people
Well,
that look like me and affects people that are around me. So yes, I can. Yes, go ahead.
and if that's
But
the case,
when they giving you the facts, why are you telling them that they're wrong?
Why is that a fact? It's an opinion. I have my opinion.
No,
Anton
no,
has his
no.
opinion.
It's
An angry man has the
it.
opinion. What? How is
No, no,
that
look,
a
no. But
fact?
some of the things they
let
were
me say
stating were
something. Let me
correct.
say something.
Yeah,
Let me
go
say
ahead,
this.
bro.
How is that?
That's
How is
crazy.
Here's
you
my
telling
thing.
me that?
Here's my
Let me just
thing.
say one thing, angry man, before you go. You telling me that trickle down economics works is not a fact, it's an opinion. You might have an opinion that trickle down economics works. I am telling you it doesn't. I can have the right to have my opinion. This is not a fact. It doesn't work everywhere. It might work for people like Anton that earn a bunch of money, but might not work like people like whatever, a regular person that doing a 9 to 5. That's what I'm talking
Okay,
about. It's
well,
an opinion, it's not a fact.
No, but there were certain things that they said that actually took place that you said just wasn't true, and that's what I'm talking about.
here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Everybody saw the economic boom when Trump was in office. It was because of what he was doing. Like we got to stop ignoring that and pretending like it's not a reality. Plus, on top of that, Kamala is talking about, oh, well, we're not going to raise the taxes for anybody that makes less than 400,000 a year. And it's like people that make over 400,000 a year, they're not super rich. Like that's not super rich. Like, bruh, like y'all act like when they're talking about taxing the wealthy, right? You
Hmm.
think they're talking about millionaires that are making $100 million and freaking billionaires and stuff. It's still affecting people at that mid level in a very negative way, which affects the middle class. Who do you think most of those business owners are that own those companies that a lot of people work for? That
Yeah,
might mean the that
they're
might
in the
mean the
middle
difference
class.
between me being able to hire somebody and not being able to hire somebody because I would have to pay more in freaking taxes, which I'm already paying enough in freaking taxes.
Yes, but that's the thing. If you have a chance to get an employer from Fiverr that lives in Indonesia to do all your artwork, all your thumbnails, all your edits, and all that, instead of hiring an American and have to pay $2,000 per month to that man, you are going to do it. Like this
But
trickle
no,
down
no,
economic,
not
the trickle down
necessarily. No,
economic, like
not
these policies are actually ending the middle class. We are having
not
the richer becoming richer and the poor
not
becoming poorer.
not
There's
necessarily,
not.
not necessarily, because here's the problem with this, Fatty. Here's the problem with this, right? Whenever it comes to you farming out stuff like that to Fiverr and all of that, sometimes the work is crappy.
It's true.
Sometimes the work is BS. You feel what I'm saying? Sometimes you want to be able to hire somebody in America in
Yes,
house as opposed to farming it out to some other country where you're going to get back shoddy work.
that's fair. But
I
remember,
will argue that every single person that works for me or works with me, let me revise that, because nobody works for me. Everybody works with me. Every single person that works with me is here in the United States of America, and the majority of them are in my city. My editor, I do not have a
hmm,
foreign editor. My editor, he's full time. And he works for me, and he makes a lot of money. He makes a lot of. Now I can cut costs, and I can go when I can hire somebody else or whatever. But I prefer him because I can actually talk to him. I can see him in person. I can see, what type of equipment. I can continue to train him and all of this stuff. And so I know him. He's actually from my city. It puts money into the economy. It puts money back into my city and stuff. All of the people that work for me, the majority of the people that work with me, are in Detroit or they're
because
in the
you are a
Metro
human
Detroit
being,
area.
you have morality. These companies are amoral.